Many old television shows slowly fade from memory, but some moments stay alive for years because they feel real and unexpected. One such moment comes from the classic crime show Dragnet. This show was famous for its serious tone, strict structure, and realistic storytelling. Every scene was carefully planned, and actors followed scripts very closely. Because of this, viewers expected perfection in every episode. However, one short moment broke all those rules and became one of the most talked about bloopers in television history. The reason this moment is so special is because of how different it was from the rest of the show. Dragnet was created by Jack Webb, who also played the main character, Joe Friday. Webb believed that crime shows should feel real, almost like documentaries. He wanted to show police work in a simple and honest way, without extra drama or exaggerated emotions. Because of this vision, the show had a very controlled environment. Actors were not allowed to improvise, and even small changes in dialogue were not accepted. Everything had to match real police procedures as closely as possible. To make the show feel authentic, Webb worked closely with real police departments, especially the Los Angeles Police Department. Officers helped review scripts and gave advice on how real investigations worked. The show even used real police equipment, cars, and uniforms. This level of detail made Dragnet stand out from other shows of its time. It also built trust with the audience, as many viewers believed the stories were very close to real life. However, this strict system also meant there was almost no room for humor or mistakes. That is why the famous blooper became so surprising. During one scene, which was supposed to be serious like all others, something unexpected happened. A comedian entered the scene and began saying lines that were not part of the script. This created a strange and funny situation that did not fit the usual tone of the show. For a moment, the carefully controlled world of Dragnet was broken. The most surprising part came when Jack Webb himself reacted. Known for always staying in character, he suddenly laughed. This reaction only lasted a few seconds, but it was enough to make the moment unforgettable. In most cases, such a mistake would be removed during editing. However, for unknown reasons, this scene was left in the final version. That decision made the blooper even more special. It showed a real human reaction in a show that was known for being almost machine-like in its precision. Viewers who later noticed this moment were surprised and amused, as it felt completely out of place. Years later, when the clip was shared online, it gained new attention. In the internet age, people enjoy seeing behind-the-scenes moments and mistakes from famous shows. This blooper became popular again because it showed a different side of Jack Webb and Dragnet. Instead of a strict and serious performance, audiences saw a natural and human reaction. It reminded people that even the most disciplined productions are created by real people who can make mistakes. The impact of Dragnet on television history is still strong today. It influenced many modern crime dramas that focus on realistic investigations and step-by-step storytelling. Shows that aim to feel authentic often follow the style that Webb introduced. Even though television has changed a lot over the years, the basic idea of showing real-life procedures in a simple way is still widely used. This is one of the reasons why Dragnet is still remembered and studied. In the end, the famous blooper stands out because it breaks the very rules that made the show successful. It shows that even in a strict and controlled environment, unexpected moments can happen. These moments often feel more powerful because they are real and unplanned. While Dragnet is remembered for its discipline and realism, this small mistake became one of its most human and memorable scenes. It proves that sometimes, the moments that were never meant to be seen are the ones people remember the most. While the blooper is often remembered for its humor, it also highlights something deeper about television production during that time. In the early days of TV, shows like Dragnet were created with limited technology compared to today. Editing tools were not as advanced, and reshooting scenes could be expensive and time-consuming. Because of this, some small mistakes were sometimes left in episodes if they were not considered serious enough to fix. This practical limitation may be one reason why the famous blooper remained in the final version instead of being removed. Another important factor is the personality of Jack Webb himself. Webb was known for being highly disciplined and focused on perfection, but he was also deeply involved in every part of the production. As a creator, actor, and director, He had control over what stayed and what was cut. It is possible that he allowed the moment to remain because it did not completely ruin the scene. Or perhaps it simply went unnoticed during editing. Whatever the reason, this small decision helped create a moment that would later become famous. The blooper also shows how powerful contrast can be in storytelling. Dragnet built its identity on seriousness, control, and realism. Because the show was so consistent in its tone, even a small break from that style felt very noticeable. If the same blooper had happened in a comedy show, it might not have been remembered at all. But in a show where humor was almost never present, this brief moment of laughter stood out strongly. It created a unique contrast that made the scene more interesting and memorable for viewers. Over time, audiences began to appreciate these kinds of unscripted moments more and more. In modern entertainment, bloopers and behind-the-scenes clips are often shared as bonus content. People enjoy seeing actors break character because it reminds them that what they are watching is created by real people. This shift in audience interest has made older moments like the Dragnet blooper even more valuable. It connects the past with the present, showing that human reactions have always been part of storytelling, even when they were not meant to be seen. The rise of the internet played a major role in bringing this moment back into public attention. Platforms like YouTube made it easy for users to upload and share old clips. Once the blooper was discovered by new audiences, it spread quickly. Viewers from different generations watched it and shared their reactions. Some found it funny, while others appreciated it as a rare look behind the scenes of a very controlled show. This online exposure gave the moment a second life many years after it originally aired. In addition, the way people watch television has changed over time. In the past, viewers could only watch shows when they were broadcast on TV. Today, they can pause, rewind, and replay scenes as much as they want. This makes it easier to notice small details, including mistakes and bloopers. The Dragnet moment became more noticeable in this new viewing environment, as people could closely examine the scene and share it with others. This change in viewing habits helped turn a small mistake into a widely recognized moment. It is also interesting to consider how this blooper affects the legacy of the show. Dragnet is still remembered as a serious and influential crime drama, but this moment adds a human touch to its image. It shows that even a highly controlled production can have unexpected breaks. Instead of damaging the show's reputation, the blooper actually adds to its charm. It gives audiences a reason to revisit the series and see it from a slightly different perspective. In conclusion, the famous blooper from Dragnet is more than just a funny mistake. It represents the balance between control and unpredictability in creative work. While the show aimed for perfection and realism, this small moment revealed something real in a different way. It showed that even the most serious productions are made by people who can react naturally. This is why the blooper continues to be remembered and shared today. It is a simple reminder that sometimes the most memorable moments are the ones that were never planned. Another interesting point about this moment is how it changes the way viewers connect with the show. Dragnet was designed to feel serious and distant, almost like an official report rather than entertainment. But when Jack Webb laughed, even for a brief second, it made the scene feel more personal and human. This small break in character allowed the audience to see the actor behind the role, creating a deeper emotional connection. It reminds viewers that no matter how strict or controlled a production may be, there is always a human element behind it, and sometimes that is what makes a moment truly unforgettable. This moment also highlights how unpredictable live performance can be, even in carefully planned productions. Although Dragnet followed strict scripts and disciplined acting, it was still created by people working together in real time. Small changes, unexpected actions, or simple timing differences could lead to reactions that no one planned. When Jack Webb laughed, it was not just a mistake, it was a natural response to something surprising. Moments like this show that no matter how controlled a set may be, there is always room for the unexpected, and sometimes those brief, unscripted reactions become the most memorable parts of a story. In a broader sense, this blooper also reflects how audiences value authenticity in storytelling. Over time, viewers have become more interested in moments that feel real rather than perfectly polished. Even in a structured show like Dragnet, a brief break in character made the scene more relatable. When Jack Webb reacted naturally, It created a sense of honesty that scripted lines often cannot achieve. This is one reason why such moments continue to be shared and remembered. They feel genuine, and that authenticity makes them stand out in a world of carefully controlled performances. Finally, this memorable blooper shows that even the most carefully designed productions cannot fully control every moment. Dragnet was built on precision, discipline, and realism, yet a single unexpected reaction managed to stand out decades later. When Jack Webb broke character and laughed, it created a lasting impression that no script could have planned. This moment continues to remind audiences that true impact does not always come from perfection, but sometimes from small, genuine reactions that reveal the human side behind the performance. In the end, moments like this also help explain why older shows continue to attract new viewers even today. When people revisit Dragnet, they are not only looking for stories about crime and investigation, but also for unique details that make the experience feel fresh. Discovering a small, unexpected blooper adds a sense of discovery, almost like finding a hidden detail that was missed before. It gives the audience a new reason to talk about the show and share it with others. In this way, even a brief moment can help keep a classic series alive across generations, proving that simple and genuine reactions can have a lasting influence far beyond their original time. Over time, this small blooper has taken on a meaning far beyond its original moment. It is no longer seen just as a mistake in a scene from Dragnet, but as a rare example of real human behavior inside a tightly controlled production. The show was built on discipline, structure, and realism, so anything that broke that pattern naturally stood out. When Jack Webb laughed, it created a contrast so strong that viewers remembered it far more than many scripted scenes. This shows how even a few seconds of genuine reaction can become more powerful than carefully written dialogue. Another reason this moment stayed popular is because it connects strongly with modern viewing habits. Today, audiences are used to seeing behind-the-scenes clips, mistakes, and deleted scenes from shows and movies. But when people look back at older programs like Dragnet, these moments feel more special because they were not originally meant to be shared. There were no social media platforms or easy ways to spread clips at the time. So when viewers later discovered Jack Webb breaking character, it felt like uncovering something hidden from the past, which made it even more interesting and valuable. The blooper also helps explain why simple moments often become the most memorable in entertainment history. In a show like Dragnet, everything was designed to be controlled and serious, leaving very little room for surprise. That is why a small reaction, like the one from Jack Webb, feels so powerful. It breaks the pattern the audience is used to and creates a sudden shift in mood. This contrast between strict structure and unexpected humor is what makes the moment stand out even after many years. In a broader sense, this moment also shows how audiences connect more with imperfections than perfection. Even though Dragnet was built to look flawless and realistic, viewers ended up remembering a small mistake more than many carefully written scenes. When Jack Webb broke character, it reminded people that television is created by humans, not machines. That simple truth makes the moment feel more relatable and real, which is why it continues to be shared and discussed even today. Ultimately, this famous blooper adds an unexpected layer to the legacy of Dragnet. The show is still respected for its realism, discipline, and influence on future crime dramas, but this small moment gives it a different kind of memory, one that feels lighter and more human. The reaction from Jack Webb shows that even in the most serious environments, real emotion can break through. That is why this brief, unscripted laugh continues to be remembered. It proves that sometimes the most lasting moments in television are not planned at all, but simply happen in the middle of everything going exactly as it should. In the end, this is also why older shows like Dragnet continue to attract new audiences even decades later. People are not only interested in the main stories, but also in small hidden moments that feel real and unplanned. When viewers discover the brief laughter of Jack Webb, it adds a fresh layer to the viewing experience. It feels like finding a small secret inside a well-known classic. These kinds of moments help old television stay alive because they remind us that behind every serious scene, there are real people who can react in natural and unexpected ways. Over time, moments like this also influence how people think about television history itself. A show such as Dragnet is often studied for its structure, realism, and impact on later crime dramas. But this small blooper adds something different to that legacy. It shows that even highly disciplined productions can have unplanned human reactions. When Jack Webb laughed on camera, it became a reminder that no matter how strict a system is, it is still made up of real people who can surprise even themselves. Because of this, the blooper has become more than just a funny moment. It is now part of how people remember the evolution of television. In shows like Dragnet, everything was designed to look controlled and realistic, almost like real police work. But when viewers see Jack Webb briefly lose that control, it creates a strong contrast that stays in memory. This contrast helps explain why even small, unscripted moments can become important parts of media history, because they reveal something audiences do not usually get to see. In conclusion, the lasting popularity of this blooper shows how powerful, simple, real moments can be in entertainment. Even though Dragnet was built on strict rules, careful scripts, and a serious tone, it is this unexpected break that many people remember most. The brief laughter of Jack Webb stands out because it feels honest and unplanned. It reminds us that behind every controlled production, there are real human emotions that can appear at any time. That is why this small moment continues to live on. It captures something real inside a very structured world, and that is what makes it unforgettable. Even today, clips from Dragnet still circulate online, and this blooper continues to reach new viewers who are seeing it for the first time. Many of them discover it through short videos or recommendations and are surprised that such a strict and serious show could contain a moment of laughter from Jack Webb. This keeps the show alive in a new way, not just as a classic crime series, but also as a reminder that even the most controlled productions can create unexpected and memorable human moments. Over time, this also shows how television history is not only built on famous episodes or big storylines, but also on small, unexpected moments that people choose to remember. In the case of Dragnet, the strict style and realistic